Welcome, race fans. I'll tell you what, short track action, late night racing tonight. No Bull Motorsports. We're at Stafford Speedway. In the house with me tonight, Tracy Flip Robinson. They call me the Cowboy. I'm J.D. Webb. Along for the ride, Rick Donathan. We'll get to him here in just a minute. Jerry the Corn Dog Wolf running the remotes. John the Bad Boy on the camera. So, Tracy, we need to kind of lickety split down through the points, bringing something a little bit unusual to the event tonight. We're going to do some live qualifying. So I'll tell you what, starting out at the top of the pile, Randy Hedrick. He's sitting up there with 221 points to the good side. Five top five finishes, 5 top tens, put him there, up one position this week in second. Thomas Zinniger, I'll tell you what, he's only 18 points behind Hedrick.
Yeah, I tell you what, JD, right now in third place, up one spot, is Mitch Linen. He's got 5 starts. And he's got 197 points, 24 points behind the leader, JD. And in fourth position, down 2 spots, is David Washington with 196 points and 25 points behind the leader.
And Brian Zimmerman, hey, he's the boss man here. No Bull Motorsports. He's sitting in the 5th place, guys. He's 32 points behind the leader. And in 6th place, Joe Gothier up 3 positions, 88 behind the leader, Tracy. And I'll just keep on going here. Brian Neff sitting in 7th position, 93 behind the leader. He's got some time to make up here. Trenton Moriarty up 4 positions this week, guys, 107 points behind the lead. And then James South sitting in 9th position down here. He's 111 points behind the lead. And rounding out the top 10, Jamie English, 112 points. So I'll tell you what, looking through the points battle here, a lot of these guys are real close. This could be the night for a couple of them here, short track racing. Live qualifying coming your way.
Tell you what, JD, something about this track here at Stanford, it only has 7.5 to 9 degrees banking. This track is pretty much like a flat track. And tell you what, we got our first car getting out on the track, and that's the 48 of Mark McFadden.
Mark McFadden, I'll tell you what, from the bottom of the top here, practice times set the qualifying order here. Mark McFadden, he's the first one up, and I'll tell you what, looking for a good qualifying run here from him tonight. And Rick, might as well get you in the mix, break you in, rookie tonight. Thanks for joining us up here in the booth as we watch Mark McFadden take his first lap.
Absolutely, and it's good to be here with you guys this evening. I believe we're going to see a good race. Start off with Randy Hedricks. Had a little meeting with him earlier today. Seems to be the man to beat here at No Bull Motorsports with a win at U.S. International Speedway, one at Oxford, and Concord Speedway. Said he's not a favorite here at the track, but feels that he's got a top 5 car.
All right, Mark McFadden laying down a 20.75. That's the one to beat so far. Next car out on the track is going to be that 67 machine, Joe Gothier, and he's got to beat McFadden's time of 20.753, guys.
Yeah, Joe, if you've never talked to him, he is the wild guy here at the No Bull Motorsports. Pretty wild and loves the racing.
All right, then looks like Joe, he took a little bit of a tumble there on the finish. He's going to lay down a lap time, 21.038. Next one out is going to be that 16 machine of David Hauser, and he's on his way around, Rick.
That's right. And David Hauser, I'm not familiar with him. He may be a new member. I've been in and out of No Bull here lately, but back pretty strong now. But let's take a look and see what he's got.
All right, Joe Gothier laying down his lap time, 20.038. And next up is going to be the 96 machine, Andy Carpenter.
Yeah, Andy, pretty young guy, very ambitious, and seems to be a good driver, good sportsmanship.
All right, Andy Carpenter making his way around. Final turn, coming across the start-finish line. Time to beat 20.540. David Hauser's got the pole. Andy Carpenter lays down 21.120. Not quite good enough, guys.
JD, Brian Neff started with us last season. He struggled a little bit, but I'm going to tell you, a lot of these guys stepped up to the plate, and I'm going to tell you, Brian Neff, he can outrun me now.
I'll tell you what, he's trying to outrun them all out there, getting his qualifying lap in. Time to beat 20.540. David Hauser as he comes across the start. Oh, gets sideways across the start-finish line. That is not going to do it for him. I'll tell you what, that was a wild e-ticket ride, boys. Thomas Zinniger, he's on his way out, guys, making his time around. As he gets going here, actually he crosses the start-finish line at 27.435.
Yeah, JD and I spoke to Randy earlier today about Mr. Zinniger, and he said Thomas is going to be the man to watch out for because he is pretty fast.
You bet. Roy Carpenter out there making his lap around. One lap qualifying attempts out here, guys. Thomas Zinniger sitting at the top of the 20.434, and not enough for Carpenter. Looks like Carpenter's time is going to be a 21.12. Actually, excuse me.
JD, I'll help you out there. That's Roy Carpenter. That is the father of Andy Carpenter.
There you go.
And let you know, a former chief of police as well. So he should be able to roll that car around this track like it's drinking coffee and eating a donut at the same time.
There you go. I tell you what, it's a late night here for ETV Live, but next out on the track is going to be Philip Willis. And I'll tell you what, time to beat out here, 20.434 from Thomas Zinniger. We'll see if Willis has got it in him in that 15 machine to beat that time as he comes across the start-finish line. Isn't going to do it, 20.883 for Philip Willis. James South out on the track making his way around the track, guys. James South looking to have a good qualifying run here at Stafford Speedway. Thomas Zinniger, current pole center, still has it up there, 20.434. That's the time to beat. As the 14 car, James South, makes his way around the final turn, heading towards the start-finish line. Is he going to do it? No, he does not do it. And I'll tell you what, good lap though, 20.609 for third place, guys.
And JD, we got Steve Hutton out on the track now, and the 09 Chevrolet machine. Just keep in mind, Steve is a painter here for No Bull Motorsports. Loves to paint a lot of these cars and puts a lot of great paint jobs on them.
All right, then Steve Hutton making his way around here, coming through the final turn here. He'll come across the start-finish line, check his time at the line.
Like Steve Hutton.
20.529, qualifying second place, guys, outside first row. And Mitch Lennon qualifies in on his lap with a 27.60. And 11 of Kevin Graham making his way around. Check his time at the start-finish line in that 11 machine. Kevin Graham looking for the times of the line from that 11 machine. Kevin Graham trying to get up there. Thomas Zinniger still has the pole up here sitting at a 20.434. Is he going to do it? Not enough time. Yes, he does. He does it. 20.415. I'll tell you what, close enough.
And JD, he's going to be another man to watch here this evening. He's got a lot riding on this one, and he's sitting in third spot in the points.
We have Mark Schaefer making his way around. Qualifying runs taking place here at Stafford And Mark Schaefer qualifying in ninth position, guys, with a run of 20.791. That's enough to get him inside the top 10, but still more qualifying here to come, guys. Brandon Ruzick out there making his run around in that 62 machine. We'll check his time at the line and see what he can put together tonight. I tell you what, Kevin Graham setting the pole speed at the pole lap is 20.415. That's the time to beat. As Ruzick lays down a time of 20.514, good enough for third. Bump Steve Hutton down one notch.
JD, we have Randy Hedrick out there on the track now. Let's see what he brings in. The one that's in the number one spot in the points right now, coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, the lap time to beat is a 20.415 set by, as Hendrick gets it, Hendrick bumping Graham down one notch, 20.333 time to beat here at Stafford. I'll tell you what, that's about a tenth and a half off Kevin Graham's lap time. Impressive run by Hendrick.
Absolutely, and Hedrick has again said that he feels like he's got a top 5 car, but he's worried about that Trenton Moretti. He knows that Trenton's going to have a strong car as well.
You bet. And Justin Fussell, hits the grass and into the wall. Jason Fussell lays down a lap time 20.566, good enough for a top 10 in 8th. Jamie English in the 92 machine making his way around. Remember, guys, time to beat Randy Hedrick. I'll tell you what, lickety-split lap, 20.333. As we'll see if Jamie English can get enough out of that machine to bump Hedrick off.
Jamie English's car looks a little tight.
Yeah, it does. And I'll tell you what, Jamie English, good enough. Set him on outside the front row with Randy Hedrick up there, 20.399. That's a close one up there.
Absolutely, and I believe Jamie's going to be one to watch. We got a lot of competition here this evening, JD. It's going to be a fun race.
13 car of Rich Zimmerman out there on track and making his qualifying run. And Rich is going to lay down a time of 20.434, good enough for 4th place. Last car out on the track, guys. It's going to be Trenton Moriarty. And again, the time to beat is going to be Randy Hedrick from at a 20.333. We'll see if Moriarty's got enough to do it.
He's looking strong on the backstretch, JD, into turn 3. Still staying stable coming out of turn 4. Let's see what he's got.
And Moriarty gets the pole, 20.160. I'll tell you what, 0.2 off Randy Hedrick. I'll tell you what, it's going to be Trenton Moriarty, Randy Hedrick, front row, guys.
And JD, I guess that's where Randy was explaining he is going to definitely be zeroing in on Trenton tonight. Trenton is on a path. I believe he's about 107 points behind in the points, and he gained 4 points from the last race. So he's on his way.
I tell you what, that was probably one of the most impressive qualifying runs we've seen here at Stafford. Short track racing here tonight with No Bull Motorsports, and again alongside us in the booth here tonight is Rick Donathan. Rick, you hail from No Bull Motorsports over here, and bringing a lot of expertise to the booth with us here tonight. But tell us about our sponsor tonight, ASA.
Well, first we had David Washington just crossed in the number 15th position with a 20.697 JD. That's not a good start for David. He must be having some problems tonight.
All right, David Washington making his qualifying run. And again, our sponsor tonight is ASA Advanced testing BC Late Model Tour for the late model short track racing here at Noble Motorsports tonight, Stafford Speedway.
And JD, we don't want to forget about Koshin Law Group. When you've got one phone call, use it wisely. Koshin Law Group. And Global Graphics, signs, decals, and logos, all your marketing needs for your business. And again, we want to thank Fast Track Sims, your leader in building simulators. See them at fasttracksims.com. And a special thanks to McFadden Motorsports. He helps a lot here at Noble Motorsports, especially with you guys, ETV Live.
All right. I tell you what, always a pleasure to be doing business with all these boys out here. But I tell you what, we're getting set, getting gridded up, getting ready out here. The motor's firing up. I tell you what, some short track racing coming our way. And I'll tell you, set for 115 laps here at Stafford Motor Speedway, half-mile track, guys. Tracy, I understand it's banked about 9 to 12 degrees in the turns. So I'll tell you what, this is kind of a Bristol-like speedway. But any more on that?
Yeah, JD, I tell you what, there's only at 7.5 to 9 degrees banking on this track. It's a fairly weathered track. Tell you what, this track, they've been racing in this area since 1860, JD. So there's a lot of heritage here, and it wasn't paved until 1967 was when they paved this track and started running the tar. And tell you what, good heritage here. It's basically a flat track, half mile, so kind of more towards Martinsville. You really don't feel that banking, so look for these cars. A lot of them probably start pushing early.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, I hear the engine's starting to fire up. We're gridding up, getting ready to go here. Trenton Moriarty on the pole. Randy Hendrick on the first row, outside him in second, Tracy.
Yeah, in third spot is the 92 of Jamie English, and starting in fourth position, Brian Zimmerman.
Kevin Graham starting in fifth on the inside, outside him. Thomas Zinniger in that 42 machine in sixth.
And seventh is 13 of Rich Zimmerman, and eighth is the 62 of Brandon Ruzick.
And in ninth position on the inside, Steve Hutton, that 09 car. In 10th, in the 16 car, outside David Hauser.
And in 11th position, the 24 of Mitch Lennon. And 12th would be the 07 of Justin Fussell.
James South starting in 13th on the inside in that 14 machine. On the outside of him in 14th position is going to be Roy Carpenter.
And in 15th would be the 10 of David Washington. And in 16th, the 48 of Mark McFadden.
And in the 80 car, 17th position, Mark Schaefer starting outside him in 18th position. That 15 car, Philip Willis.
And starting 19th to 67 of Joe Guthier. And then 20th position, the 96 of Andy Carpenter.
Rounding out the race tonight, Brian Neff starting back here in the 60 machine in 21st position as we get ready to go green flag racing here at Stafford Speedway, guys.
Yeah, I tell you what, should be a fun race, JD. There's not a lot of room out on this track for these guys on this flat track. Look for it to be fairly chaotic here on our first lap. We're doing one with everybody side by side as we have one car already going towards the back, JD.
Bet, and it's like our pole sitter got Trenton Moriarty starting back here in the back.
Guys, just want to let you know, here at Noble Motorsports, where these guys qualify at, a lot of times what they do is they invert the field. So the man that you've got on the pole is going to end up starting dead last.
All right. Unusual. Hey, that's that just kind of puts another kink in the works out here. Makes it a little bit more exciting. Short track racing, Stafford Speedway, guys. I tell you what, set for 115 laps of fast-paced action, short track style, as they wind down their pace laps. We should be getting green flag racing here just shortly, guys.
Yeah, Jay, it looks like they're still working on lining up as they're taking a pretty easy pace right now, and looks like everybody's getting in position for this start of this race.
You bet. I guess inverting the field, Rick, it takes a little bit of time here, so I can imagine a couple of pace laps, a couple of times around, and get them straightened out.
And I believe what you're going to see, JD, is when the green flag drops, just to make sure all the guys are lined up to where they need to be, you're going to see a caution come out. Once that caution comes out, they're going to realign these guys up. The field's going to be inverted, and they'll gather them back up, and then we'll go green.
I understand. All right. I'll tell you what, we're looking for that action to take place. In the meantime, they're getting a set, getting ready, so we'll keep an eye on that as they make it happen down there on the track. Guys patiently maneuvering around, getting into their positions. And again, 115 laps here at Stafford Speedway, Stafford, Connecticut. And I'll tell you, some late night action coming our way, Tracy.
Yeah, I tell you what, JD, this is what you call when you have a rule in your league and you want to make it work, you find a way to get it to work. It looks like these guys have figured it out, as now they're lining up side by side, be coming around to take that green flag this time by, JD.
All right. As we get set to go green flag racing here, guys, Brandon Ruzik's going to take us to that green flag. Pace lights go off on the pace car as we get set to go racing here, short track style at Stafford Speedway. Steve Hutton is going to start on the outside of Ruzak here. And I'll tell you what, it'll be a mad dash to turn one, Tracy, after that green flag flies.
Yeah, I tell you what, this is where the fast guys back in the back of the pack are going to have to take a little easy, probably for about the first 5 or 6 laps. Let everybody sort themselves out, because you know what, it doesn't take long to get caught up in some trouble trying to rush through too soon, JD.
You got that right. Pace car is off, green flag's out. We are racing short track style Stafford Speedway, guys.
Looks like we got everybody coming clean through the first corner, JD. The car's still side by side, but now we're getting them all cleaned up and straightened out, and look for these guys to start moving their way forward.
You bet. Brandon Ruzek got a good start on the green flag there. Steve Hutton in behind him, Mitch Linen and James South, David Washington, your top 5 up here. And I'll tell you what, pretty much single file racing here, set for 115 laps, short track style here at Stafford, guys. So I'll tell you what, lots of racing coming our way. 2 wide back here with Joe Guthier, Rich Zimmerman back here, almost 3 wide. Mark McFadden down here on the bottom. He's able to hang on to that position, Tracy.
Yeah, I tell you what, they got 2 wide going back here in the back of the pack. Guys are going to drive. Looks like a car pushed real high in the corner, JD. Looked like it might have been that 46 car getting real high.
You bet. And Joe Gothier, same thing, kind of went high into that turn, able to get it back down on the bottom again and get settled in. But I'll tell you what, he looks like he's running that middle line up there. Perhaps that's the way his car's set up. I'll tell you what, that 15 machine, Philip Willis sneaking up on the inside. And I tell you, I think Zimmerman might be having some problems with that machine of his, guys.
JD, I'm looking at the 67 car. I'm not too sure what happened. I think he might have got to that outside wall and had a little damage on his right front fender. As the 67 went all the way to the back, really having a hard time getting that car to turn.
We had just in front of him, Jamie English, Andy Carpenter going after it up here, 2 wide racing as they're looking for positions. But pretty much all the way up to the front, guys, it's single file racing. Almost look like we have a breakaway pack up here, guys, with Rich Zimmerman, Roy Carpenter, the last couple of cars. Carpenter looking for position on the outside, can't get it. But I'll tell you what, Brandon Ruzek is almost walking away from the field up here. Steve Sutton in behind him, about 1.2 seconds back, guys.
And JD, I was just watching Brandon here. A lot of times, these guys, when they get up front like that, they will take off with the lead. He's opened it up probably about 8 car lengths. But all it's going to take is one caution. He's got those tires heated up. We got trouble.
Tell you what, JD, the 42 just got into that outside wall on the exit of the corner. Just bounced off it lightly, but tell you what, on these cars, it doesn't take a big hit to knock your toe out or possibly just change away your suspension run. It could look like his car is possibly pushing a little more than it was a lap before.
You bet. I'll look at the back end damage to that machine, but I'll tell you what, as long as the spoiler stays up there in the air, he'll be all right. But some heavy damage on the back of that 42 machine of Thomas Zinniger. Well, Thomas Zinniger in trouble already here at Stafford, and I'll tell you what, 115 laps on the schedule tonight. 14 of them in the books here already. And I'll tell you what, some fast action taking place up here. Rich Zimmerman almost collided with, can't make out that car. Well, that happened quick, Tracy.
Yeah, the 67 car. Joe Gossier just has damage, and that car will not turn. I can hear him downshifting in the corners, JD, trying to woe that thing up just to get it to make the corners. And tell you, that group caught up to him, and they were side by side with the 16. It was on the outside, and that was really close for David Hauser.
You bet. As Joe Gossier makes his way into the pits, it looks like a quick one. Don't know if he got any. Doesn't look like he had any repairs done at all, guys. It might have been just a tire change, and he's heading back out on the track.
Yeah, JD, I'm just watching back here. The 96 of Andy Carpenter just got in the back of the 48 of Mark Maffaden. Got him side with Mark Maffaden. Was able to keep that car straight, pulled it back in, and got back going on the track.
All right, and no caution flag out, so we're still green flag racing here, guys. 17 of them in the books here. Up here in front, Mark Schaefer, he's duking it out. Oh, contact with the 80 car up here, Rich Zimmerman. I'll tell you what, these two boys have been going out of here for a couple of laps. That's going to be Mark Schaefer down here on the bottom. It looks like David Hauser gives him a chrome horn. I'll tell you what, it's beat, move your ass, boys. This is short track racing at its best.
And that is what Rich will do. If you won't get out of his way, Rich will move you. But normally he will give you a couple taps to let you know he's back there.
Tell you what, the 72 is really moving forward of Trenton Moriarty. He's up to 12th position already, guys.
I'll tell you what, Brandon Ruzick still holds down the lead up here, but I tell you what, it's getting short. Mitch Lennon up there in second place. He's only about 9/10 off, but it's short track racing, Tracy. Stafford, I have not been on this track, but Rick, I know that you spent some quality time here inside one of these late model cars, and I tell you what, a lot like Bristol, you got to get into a rhythm, have the patience to get her done, and know what to do when you get there.
Yeah, and it's all about how you enter into the corner and how you get off the corner. Speed is definitely going in and coming out is what you got. Very tight track. Got to pay attention. Fast pace.
You bet. Brandon Ruzick up here looks like he's getting off turns just a little bit squirrely. I don't know if that's handling coming away. 22 laps in the books already. I'm not quite sure what these cars are set up to run on tires and fuel, but I tell you what, Brandon Ruzick getting a little bit loose coming off the turns, guys. I don't know if that's a gear setting, spinning the tires coming off, or it could be 22 laps worth of rubber missing off those tires, Tracy.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think
into the wall.
Some guys are starting to get a little loose. The 80 of Mark Schaefer, I watched him come off the corner to get really loose, had to chase that car back down, get it back underneath him. So it looks like some of these guys' setups are starting to get a little loose on the long run, JD.
You bet. I'll tell you what, just a couple laps ago, Brandon Ruzick took a bite out of the wall up there, but I'll tell you what, no harm, no foul. He's still the leader way up there in front. And in back of him, and Mitch Linen, I tell you what, looks like he's just, using that rhythm, being patient with it. A lot of laps left here to go. 25 laps in the schedule for 115 here, Tracy. And I tell you what, things are looking pretty sharp as we go single file racing here for the most part, guys. Not a lot of movement. Roy Carpenter back here in 13th position. He's kind of taking a position up in that middle line up there, but I got a funny feeling that may be tire wear as his car starts to push and puts him up on the outside, Tracy.
Yeah, I'm sure these tires are starting to wear on him a little bit, and this is where we're going to find out who's got the long run setups, because they'll actually be able to move forward and get around these guys. And I'm watching the 67 with fresh tires. He's able to run up with these guys. I just don't know if he has a setup to do it. But 67 running a little better now since he got in the pit.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, looking at his pit stop, that's probably going to be a four-tire change there for him. It didn't look like they brought the hammers out at all on that 67 machine of Joe Gauthier. 2 laps down, so if the caution does come out and the dog gets out of its cage, he might be the recipient of a lucky dog here and get one of those laps back. But, Rick, it's awful hard to make up a lap here out on the track if you get stuck behind.
Oh, definitely. It's a great track to race. If you've got a good group of guys that's racing and have raced a pretty good while with each other, you don't see a lot of cautions here. I do know that I talked to some of these drivers about the new tire model, and a lot of them were saying that they really needs a little bit more grip, especially coming out of the corners.
Bet, and I'll tell you what, Brandon Ruzick putting Andy Carpenter a lap down. So Andy Carpenter, he'll be the first car 1 lap down. He's going to bump Joe Gauthier back 1 notch if the lucky dog does come out, Tracy. But I'll tell you what, Brandon Ruzick making it look pretty easy here at Stafford.
Yeah, I tell you what, doing a great job up there, too. We got that clean air on that nose of that car, getting all the downforce that he can get. And it looks like he said, the 24 Mitch Linen just happy to ride back there for now, and I'm guessing they probably do have a pit stop coming pretty soon, JD.
You bet, and I'll tell you what, moving on back here to the 3rd place in that number 14 machine, James South. Kept an eye on him, guys. I'll tell you what, James South, he's getting a little bit squirrely coming off the turns about every other lap or so I got a funny feeling handling starting to go away. Tire wear starting to show on these cars, Tracy, as they start to push up into that outside lane.
Yeah, JD, too, we've got a couple cars around. Looks like the 10 car was spun around there on the David Washington and the 09 car, both on the side of the track going through the grass. That's Steve Hutton.
All right, I'll tell you what, and we've got a caution. That's going to be our first caution of the day, guys.
And I believe that's going to be the 01 Brian Zimmerman and Steve Hutton.
Yeah, I believe that's the 01, Tracy, not the 10 car. Brian Zimmerman's car, the back of his car is just absolutely tore up. And tell you what, maybe we can throw it on down to Jerry and see if we can't pick it back up on the E-Play machine down here. It'd be the 01 car of Brian Zimmerman, guys.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm not really sure. It looks like the car that was in front of him might have actually got loose before he did, and that's what caused the 01 to go around. But, John, I believe I heard tonight that he was a guaranteed win, wasn't he?
That's what I thought I heard.
Oh, was that our big talker earlier?
Yeah, Brian Zimmerman, I tell you what, spent some time up here in the booth with us, and he was talking the big one here pretty good, boys. I tell you what, Brian Zimmerman in trouble already. He's tangling up, bringing out the first caution here, but I tell you what, he'll get the ball peen hammers out, get it fixed up, 4 tires and fuel, race off pit road, and he'll get back out there and get after it again. So I'll tell you what, first caution coming out here on lap 34. Why don't we go ahead and step away? We'll take a real quick commercial break, and we'll bring it back to you live. ETV Live, Cowboy. Don't wander off. We'll be right back. Fast Track Sims. I'll tell you what, back live here, Stafford Speedway short track style here with No Bull Racing getting ready to take the green flag. Fast Track Sims. You want one of them welded custom steel frames to put in your living room and build your cockpit around. I'll tell you what, get over to fasttracksims.com. We get the green flag. Brandon Ruzick back out in front. Mitch Lennon, David Washington, Kevin Graham, Rich Zimmerman, your top 5 up here. And where is Brian Zimmerman? And I'll tell you what, after that little get-together back on lap 34, he's stuck back here in 15th position, guys.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm watching this restart here. As the 10 gets a little loose coming off the corner, we had a little bit of bump in the 24, gave the 62 a little bump, told him, hey, remember I'm down here. And tell you what, this group is getting to go to the 11 car on the outside. May have just grazed the wall, took a little paint with them as he go around the track.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, some wild action happening back here in the back in front of Steve Hutton. Go on up here in about 14th, 13th position up here. Philip Willis gets wild sideways coming off the turn. 16 up on the outside. But I'll tell you, 15 car of Willis got plumb sideways coming off of turn 2, guys.
And you guys, you're about to see it start getting interesting, where the fast guys have kind of moved their way up in the back of the field. They're getting close to the front. We're about to see a race.
Tell you what, JD, the 72 is up to 5th spot, guys.
All right. Hey, taking a look over here in the chat room. Hey, we want to say good evening or good night to Aaron Hutchinson. He's along for the ride tonight. Brad Spittle, hey, he's in the house too over here watching. And tell you what, some late night action, no bull racing style here at Stafford Speedway, guys. And I'll tell you what, things are starting to heat up here for sure. Rick Donovan in the house with us here tonight. I'll tell you what, Rick, Stafford Speedway, short track, half-mile action, kind of like Bristol, but I'll tell you what, this is an outdoor track, unlike Bristol, a little bit flatter in the turns, and I'll tell you what, some wild stuff taking place down here in these late models.
Absolutely, JD, and you're going to see bumper-to-bumper, door-to-door action from this point on. It's time to get serious. These guys have got a new set of tires, and they're going to go around here as if they're going to try to break a track record.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, keeping an eye on James South. James South pretty much spent the first part of the race up there in the top 5, but I tell you what, he's mired back here in 7th position, and I'll tell you what, he's got his foot to the throttle. He's getting a little bit loose coming off the turns. That tire spin, guys, that's throttle to the metal, pedal to the metal, throttle wide. That's a mouthful, isn't it?
Tell you what, JD, the 24 pushed high in the corner. The 10 and 13 and 7-2 were able to get by him, moving the 24 of Mitch Lennon back to 5th, guys.
And Justin Fussell around, guys. Justin Fussell, I believe that's going to bring the caution out here for the second time. Justin Fussell back here in the 07 machine. It looks like he might have had contact with another car, guys. And I want to say it was Zimmerman. Don't know if it was Brian or not, but now I'm hearing it was the 14 car of James South, guys. So James South and Justin Fussell possibly contacting each other. Fussell definitely going around for an e-ticket ride, Jerry.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, JD, exactly as you said there. It looks like he came down to the side of him, definitely turned him around. A little bit more damage for him to deal with in that car, but hey, we'll get it in there, get it fixed up, bring it back out, and try her again.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, a short track racing, late model style here at Stafford Speedway with No Bull Motorsports gang. And I'll tell you what, late model racing, Rick and Tracy, you can bang these cars around quite a bit, do a little bit of damage to them. There's not a whole lot of aerodynamics involved here at short track racing, but I'll tell you what, that spoiler's got to stay stuck up in the air, or you're not going to be able to take these turns at the kind of speed you want. But I'll tell you what, you can beat and bang these things pretty good, though.
Tell you what, JD, our leader, the 62 car, hit pit road. You got more information on that, Rich? Got more information on pit road, Rick?
I know that he just came out on the pits. He must have just got him some tires. Oh, that's going to put him way back in the back of the pack. It's going to.
Yeah, I tell you what, we had quite a few cars to get in there in the pits, JD. There's about 3 of them up there in that top 5, all went in and hit pit road.
Don't worry about it, Rick. There's no test after the broadcast, so you're doing fine.
Fantastic. I just wasn't expecting that from Terry. I kind of been following your lead here on this, JD.
I don't know where Terry is, but Tracy's sitting over there beside me. I tell you what, we're having some fun up here. Rick Jonathan along for the ride up here, and I tell you what, he's bringing a new dimension to ETV Live. I tell you what, we're having a blast. But short track action down here at Stafford Speedway with the No Bull Motorsports gang. I tell you what, David Washington, move him up a couple of notches. He's going to restart here. He's up here behind the pace car. Rich Zimmerman, he'll be starting second. Third is Trenton Moriarty. And then Kevin Graham, I tell you what, Kevin Graham laying down a lickety-split qualifying time here. He'll be starting fourth. Brian Neff, move him from the back to the front to the back to the front. He's up here in fifth position. Where is Brian Zimmerman, our leader? He's stuck back here in 10th position, guys.
JD, it's going to get interesting, especially with David Washington sitting on the front row. On the outside of him is Rich Zimmerman, and when David looks in his mirror, he's going to see Trenton behind him as well, and Kevin Graham is tucked right on his right rear. He's going to have a lot of pressure on him on this one. It's going to get interesting.
I'll tell you what, double car restarts here, and the green flag is out, and we're back to short track racing. David Washington gets a huge jump off of Zimmerman up here on the outside, and Trenton Moriarty is going to follow him right on through.
Oh, Kevin Graham has spun her around. We've got an accident in turn 1 and 2, guys.
Ooh, big accident. Tons of them involved, guys. Wow. Kevin Graham, I don't know who was. Did anybody catch and see who did what?
Looks like the 92 of Jamie English tapped Kevin Graham a little bit going into turn 1. Tough luck there.
All right. And have we got more on it, Jerry?
Yeah, taking a look here, guys. Looks exactly as he said. He just got into the back of that car, spun him right around. A lot of other got collected in that JD that really didn't need to be in there. One car up there on the top of the track, though, looks like he got up off of a couple wheels and kind of got a little twisted around. Everybody got it back straight, getting it going again. Round 3, 4.
You bet. This is going to be round 3 coming at us. And I'll tell you what, ball peen hammers come out, get that sheet metal straightened out. And we'll be back at Green Flag Racing. Hey, this is short track style here. Check your attitude at the door, boys. I'll tell you what, why don't we go ahead and step away. We'll take a real quick commercial break. You're watching live, ETV Live. It's the only choice, Cowboys, Stafford Speedway, No Bull Motorsports. Don't wander off. We'll be right back. Whoa there, cowboy. Ain't no need to get the hammers out and tear it all up. What you need to do is get a hold of David Bass, DB Tech Services. Technology support offered at a price affordable to most churches, not-for-profits, and individual customers. I'll tell you what, David Bass, IT specialist, over 5 years at the corporate level. Hey, man, computer maintenance, hardware and software upgrades. I'll tell you what, David Bass, DB Tech Services, established specifically to provide lower-cost options to churches and non-profit organizations. So put the hammer away, dude. Get a hold of David Bass, DB Tech Services, dbtechservice.com. All right, and we are back live, ETV Live, Stafford Speedway, Stafford, Connecticut. I'll tell you what, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. David Washington's going to pick up the green flag. Trenton Moriarty up on the outside. Rich Zimmerman, Brian Zimmerman making up your top four. David Hauser sneaking up on the inside here of Rich Zimmerman. Can't put it together. Has to fall back. But I'll tell you what, David Washington, Trenton Moriarty out here in front.
Tell you what, the Zimmerman family's up front and running hard with the 01 and the 13, Brian and Rich. But I tell you what, that 10 is leading them around, David Washington, but he's got to watch out. He's got that 72 car of Trenton Moriarty, our pole sitter tonight, JD.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, they are getting after it up in front up there, but moving back through the field here, pretty much single file racing. And taking a look at that number 62 car up here, he's running in ninth. Remember, that was Brandon Ruzak. I tell you what, he looked like he was going to take the trophy home tonight. But I'll tell you what, big problems for that 62 machine as he has been tangling with the wall and other things around the track here. But I'll tell you what, running in ninth position back here, guys.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's got a spoiler pretty high in the air in the back of that car. It looks like he got a little damage in the back. And I tell you what, the 15 and the 3 really racing hard. The 15 of Philip Willis and Randy Hedrick, tell you what, doing a great job racing side by side, lap after lap, guys.
You bet. And as Hedrick gets a piece of the wall coming down the back, so I tell you what, Randy Hedrick, he's your points leader here in the No Bull Motorsports late model series. So Hedrick looking to put it together here tonight. I'll tell you what, running back here in 11th, Rick, he's got some distance to make up on the leaders up here, and he needs to do it here pretty soon.
Yeah, and I believe he can do it. Kevin, he's pretty strong car out there. I've been watching him for a few laps. He's had a few troubles coming off the corners, it looks like.
We had 16 car up on the outside of Kevin Graham up here in 8th and 9th position back here, and it looked like that was Mitch Linen getting, who was that? Well, I just lost the numbers there for a minute, but anyway, getting a piece of the wall. But I tell you what, short track action out here at Stafford Speedway, and I tell you what, things have kind of settled down here a little bit. 3 cautions so far tonight. The last one coming out here about lap 53 or so. Involved about 6 cars, but I tell you what, no harm, no foul. Get the old ball peen hammers out, Tracy, and the Bondo, and get these things taped back up and baling wire and gray tape, whatever it takes to get it back here out on the track. And David Washington, your leader out here, as Trenton Moriarty keep putting the chrome horn to him, guys.
Yeah, I tell you what, JD, he's getting a little bump here once in a while. Let him know he's back there, and he feels like he's holding him up a little bit, not too hard of a bump to spin him, but it's just enough to get him to recognize that he's still there. So you better run in a good line, otherwise I'm going to come in there and I'm going to stick my nose in there and try to get by you. But right now, tell you what, they're just running a good pace, following nose to tail, the top 4 guys, JD. As the 72 is looking low, going into the corner, and Dizzy backs off, lets the number 10 comes down and makes a block, JD.
You've got David Washington trying to keep Trent Moriarty at bay back here. And I tell you what, doing a pretty good job of it. Difficult to pass around these short tracks, Rick, and this one being a little bit flatter than the other famous half-mile track we always like to talk about, Bristol Speedway. But I tell you what, sometimes a little bit difficult to pass around here when you need to get down to that bottom line down there, and the guy in front of you just doesn't get out of the way.
That's right, JD. And when you go into that corner there, it's just like a path. If you get off that path to the right, it's going to make you slow. It's going to push you up in the corner. If you get down too low, eventually when you get through the corner, you're going to push coming out of that corner. And I'm just sitting here watching David and Trenton. You know, I tell you what, there's 3 Koshin Law Firm cars up there in the top 4. So Trenton, better be careful.
Oh, Kevin Graham having big troubles coming back off that, coming down the backstretch, guys. I don't know if you want to go back and take a look at that one. But Kevin Graham in that 11 machine almost lost it. That looked like caution number 4, about ready to happen, guys. But I tell you what, he's got it back collected up, and I tell you what, he's probably going through his mind, trying to get settled back down again as he gets his rhythm back. But 11 car, Kevin Graham, big trouble.
Hey, with JD, 72 got his nose under the 10. Oh, they bounce into side by side. 72 gets sideways, keeps the car going straight, still side by side with the 10. Tell you what, trying to get that lead away from the 10, and he gets in the 72. Tell you what, very close to spinning that car out, guys.
We've got Trenton Moriarty pushing the limit, coming off of turn 2 here, or 3, coming down the backstretch off of turn 4, almost gets a piece of the wall back here, but David Washington having to give it up to Trenton Moriarty out here in front, guys. Moriarty still getting a piece of the wall coming down the backstretch. I'll tell you what, Moriarty's got it hooked up and moving forward here. Washington trying to keep up. But Brian Zimmerman in that 01 car, watching all that happen out there in front of him, guys, I tell you what, he's just back here waiting for one of those two guys to make the mistake. But then Rich Zimmerman moved back one more notch, sitting back here in 4th place as he gets a piece of the wall. I tell you what, Koshian Law Group, I tell you what, they're on the move forward here. But I tell you, the Zimmerman boys looking to make sure that David Washington and Trenton Moriarty go after it again, and to it, that may give Zimmerman a chance to move on up.
Yeah, I tell you what, JD, that 72 car was sideways enough you could read the door numbers on his car when he got into the side of the 10. Great job to get that car straightened back out and actually not lose any time on the 10, who had, I'm sure, to check up on the high side and make sure he didn't spin out, JD. But now that 72 starting to put a little space between him and the law firm cars.
You know, I was just checking the lap times there too, and I looked at Trenton. At lap 60, he ran a 20.474, and just a few minutes ago, he ran a 20.502.
I'll tell you what, it's enough to keep him out there in front of David Washington. Washington giving it up here about 4 or 5 laps ago to Trenton Moriarty, but moving back through the field, guys, back towards Justin Fussell. Remember, he took that e-ticket ride here about lap 46 or so. No damage, no harm, no foul, but I'll tell you what, 4 tires of gas. He's back out there on the track running in the top 5 in 5th place. And moving on back just a little bit more in 7th position back here, the 11 car, Kevin Graham. I'll tell you what, Kevin fighting what looks like to be an ill-handling car, Tracy, as Kevin Graham was running up here in the top 5 first part of the race, moving backwards. He's moving backwards along with Brandon Ruzak. Ruzak in 8th position back here in that 62 machine. Looks like heavy damage to the rear of that car. Don't know whether Ruzak's going to have enough to get it back up there in the front or not.
Say what, JD, I've been watching the 16 of David Hauser. His car is starting to lose the handle of it as he loses 3 spots here in the last few laps. The 3 of Randy Hedrick and the 80 of Mark Schaefer, and also the 42 of Thomas Zinginger, and also the 15 of Philip Willis, all got around that 16 of David Hauser. Looks like his car, the tires are starting to wear out him. He's losing the handle on it and slowly moving backwards in the field.
I'll tell you what, 81 laps in the books, 34 more laps to go here at Stafford Speedway, Stafford, Connecticut. Hey, you want to watch this race again? I know where you can do it. etv-eplay.net. That's where it's at. Along with countless other broadcasts down here, right here live from ETV Live, etv-eplay.net. Get over, get signed up, get in and get watching corn dogs and Coronas. Have yourself an ETV ePlay party and invite your friends over. Burn them onto a DVD if you want, and they're all free. So etv-eplay.net.
So you're moving forward, JD, the 3 of Randy Hedrick just gets around that 62 car. As the 62, like I said, it's starting to fade a little bit, but the 3 is starting to move forward, so looks like he's got a good handling car here in the later laps of this race or in this run.
Yeah, and looks like Justin Farrell getting a piece of the wall. You know, a number of these guys taking a piece of the wall with them as they come off of turn 2 here, Rick. You know, I've seen that happen to more than one. The 13, Rich Zimmerman gets loose coming off of turn 4 down the backstretch. That's going to cost him a couple of seconds. He was riding the bumper of Brian Zimmerman in that 01 car up here for a little bit. To tell you what, Rich Zimmerman taking a little bit of a turn down here as he a little bit too much throttle coming off the turns.
Yeah, I tell you, our leader pretty much drove away from these guys as 72 of Trent Moriarty. He's got 2.9 second lead right now, JD.
Trent Moriarty sitting 8th in the overall points, up 4 positions. Biggest mover this week, guys. Trent Moriarty, he's 107 points behind the leader. But I'll tell you what, at least here at Stafford, he's looking to move that machine up and take himself home a trophy tonight.
And I'm just checking out the guys back here toward the back. Brian Neff and Roy Carpenter. It looks as if Roy Carpenter is slowly catching Brian Neff one lap after another. Don't know if he's going to catch him, if he's going to run out of time.
88 laps in the books here, guys. Scheduled for 115 laps. I'll tell you what, they're winding down. They're winding down real quick to the tune of about 20 seconds or so. But back here with David Washington, he's going around the 48 machine, putting the 48 machine Mark McFadden down a lap. So I'll tell you what, McFadden fading fast. Brian Neff, Roy Carpenter, Joe Gauthier all one lap down, and Andy Carpenter, I believe, is parked for the night, guys. But Trenton Moriarty still your leader out here at Stafford Speedway, Tracy.
Yeah, I tell you what, he keeps extending that lead. He's got 3.6 seconds now, JD. And I was watching back here. The 13 of Rich Zimmerman got around the 01 of Brian Zimmerman, take over that third spot. Still in second place is number 10 of David Washington. 3.9 seconds now behind the leaders, guys.
And it looks like Kevin Graham is running in the 11th or 7th position. And Randy Hendricks is coming right in behind him, coming out of turn 2, running in the 8th position.
Yeah, Randy Hedrick is your points leader here with the No Bull late model series here. And Hendrick, we thought that was going to put together a top 5 run here, but looks like he's having problems, possibly handling problems with that number 3 machine of his. Of course, he does have a little bit of damage, but short track racing, that's bound to happen. It is bumper banging, door banging action here, and even the walls get involved too. And the caution's coming out here for the 4th time, guys. Let's see if we can't cycle around here and see who is responsible for that one.
JD, I believe there's going to be a lot of guys that likes to see that caution that just came out. Probably going to have a few guys to go in and get fresh tires to give it.
All right, as we're cycling around here trying to find the caution here, guys. And as soon as we do, we'll bring it right to you. But that's going to be number 4 for the night, happening right here on about lap 94 or so. But as soon as we can get to that caution, we'll call it up for you. Trent Moriarty, your leader, up to this caution. David Washington, Rich Zimmerman, Brian Zimmerman, Kevin Graham being shown your top 5 right now as we work through this caution, guys.
And JD, I'm down here in the pits, and it looks like Brian took on 2 tires, and he's back out on the track.
All right, I'll tell you what, 2-tire change for Zimmerman up here. As Zimmerman spent some time up here in the booth with us and said, you know what, boys, I'm going to win this race tonight. I'll tell you what, Brian Zimmerman, you are getting closer. We're showing you up there in 4th, but I'll tell you what, as it all works out, we'll see where you wind up. All right, and I believe we got Brian Zimmerman on the radio. Brian, it's JD up in the booth. You got me?
Gotcha, JD.
Hey, dude, I understand you spent some time up here with Jerry Wolf and John Westling and said something about winning this thing tonight?
That's right.
How is the car running?
Oh, she's a beaut, man. She's driving the wheels off this thing. She's flying around this track. I don't think I could ask for any better of a car. It felt a little loose in practice, but as the laps go on, it comes in very nice.
Tell you what, it looked like you were you started somewhere in about the, I don't want to say the back, but in the back somewhere, but you're moving that thing up, you're inside the top 10. What do you got for us as the laps start winding down here?
I'm hoping I can get back up there. I just made a I think a mistake. I just pitted for 2, and everybody else in front of me seemed to stay out. I think I might be able to get him, though, because I didn't lose too many positions. I only lost 2, so.
All right, I'll tell you what, we're about ready to go back to green flag racing here. I'm going to cut you loose so you can get your thoughts back together again. Good luck, Brian.
Thank you.
All right, Brian Zimmerman down there in that 01 machine. He's sitting in 6th place, guys. Trent Moriarty is going to collect the green flag this time around one more time. David Washington, Rich Zimmerman, Kevin Graham, Steve Hutton, your top 5 here on this go-round. And I'll tell you what, guys, short track action here at Stafford Speedway in Stafford, Connecticut, scheduled for 115 laps, and they are absolutely winding down. 98 of them in the books. I'll tell you what, that might be the last stop of the night, Tracy.
Yeah, JD, I don't think you're going to see anybody coming in there for tires. But I tell you, think if the green flag comes out, the guys just behind him will probably thinking maybe the tires will give us a chance to really race close to the 72 tonight.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, keep an eye on Brian Zimmerman, 2-tire change for that 01 car down there. Oh, it looks like Kevin Graham gets the boot. Kevin Graham gets the boot from Brian Zimmerman, guys. I'll tell you what, I guess that's the way it's done here, Rick.
Oh, no, I don't believe that was meant to happen, but I'm sure that will be discussed in a driver's meeting after the show here.
I tell you what, if you can't get it the one way, you get it the hard way, Jerry.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, JD, taking this again exactly right. It looks like old Brian Zimmerman just didn't have enough, and he said, hey, listen, the end of this race is coming. I want to get going, guys, get out of the way.
You bet. I tell you what, calling out caution number 4 here. Looks like Brian Ruzick involved in that one. I didn't catch the other car, guys, but caution number 4 coming out here on the track, Jerry, with Brendan Ruzick.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, JD, the one thing I do like about that 11 car, Kevin Graham, he kept that thing down in the bottom of the track. He kept it clean from everybody else, so that does say a lot for him, a good driver there to be able to do that, especially with that many cars coming at him.
Yeah, you got that right. And I'll tell you what, we're working caution number 4 here, guys, and Brandon Ruzick involved in that one. And Tracy, I didn't catch the other cars that were involved in that as well.
Yeah, JD, we had 2 cars spinning off the track there. I believe it was a 62. Now I can't remember who the first car was. It was a 62 and another car got together. But I was watching farther in this, guys, and I tell you what, there's a huge crash into one as it looks like the 80 gets in the back of the 09 and spins them. And I tell you what, that 09 ends up flipping several times here on the track, guys.
All right, that's going to be caution number 4 coming out here at Stafford Speedway as the laps start winding down. And I'll tell you what, the schedule for 115, 103 in the book. So I tell you, this is going to be about an 8 or 9 lap shootout when we get things sorted out here. But Rick, I understand you got Dave Washington on the radio.
I do. Dave, you got a copy?
10-4.
Dave, just watching you and running in that second spot, Trenton there seems to be pulling away from you. You've got just a few laps left here. Do you have enough?
Probably not. He's kind of fast, and for some reason, he's just pulling away.
Okay. You got another one of your teammates back there behind you in a Koshin Law Firm car, Rich Zimmerman. You think you've got enough to stay in front of him?
Providing we don't get together.
Good deal. Well, we wish you the best of luck, Dave.
Thanks.
All right, Dave Washington down there on the track. Tell you what, he's riding second place behind Trent Moriarty down there, and we're saddling up, getting ready to go again here at Stafford Speedway. And I'll tell you what, guys, this is going to be about as they get this thing sorted out, it might be about an 8 or 9 lap shootout when we get to it, scheduled for 115. So, Rick, what can we expect? You've been out here with these boys. What can we expect here in the last 8 or 9 laps here at Stafford?
Well, I believe you're definitely going to see Dave shoot for the win. He's obviously, the car's not hooking up the way he wants to. I can tell by the way he's responding. You've got Rich is going to be running right behind him with his brother Brian. Now, I'm going to tell you, Rich and Brian, they need to be brothers, but there's no love lost on the track.
All right, tell you what, pace car has pulled off, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. It is out, and it is up, and it is waving, and Trenton Moriarty jumps out to the lead. David Washington up on the outside, ducks down on the inside. Going to put the chrome horn to him, gets out of shape, coming out of turn 2. Sideways as 2 of them get past him.
Tell you what, JD, we got 3 wide of the 10 was stuck to the outside. Third man on that. Oh, we got contact. 92 into the 10, come back up. 10 and 92 into the wall. 40, say he's around, big crash.
Big crash, guys. I'll tell you what, big crash coming here as the 10 just gets in and out of the way. What to roll that one back, and that one happened so quick with so many cars, guys. We're going to roll this one back and take a second look. But the 10 gets out of shape. I think he might have had a little bit of help coming out of turn 2, but gets up against the wall, 3 wide, going into down the backstretch, Jerry, into turn 2. Give us the rest of the story.
JD, I think Ben was actually having some issues back from that first little get-go he had. Still hadn't straightened it up, man, and he just got it around. A lot of cars collected. That 92 took a lot of damage. 92 actually came up and gave him another good whack side. So, guys, tough night for a lot of these guys, but hey, we're almost done, buddy.
Almost done. All right, I'll tell you what. Put a couple of more of them on the trailer, and as we say here on ETV Live, Rick, headed for the barn. But I'll tell you what, some wild racing happening here at Stafford Speedway, No Bull Motorsports, gang. Why don't we go ahead and for the last time, we'll step away. We'll take a real quick commercial break, and we'll bring you the finish live, ETV Live. Stafford Speedway, No Bull Motorsports. Don't wander off. We'll be right back. All right, we are back live, Stafford Speedway, No Bull Motorsports, as we work caution number 5 here. I tell you what, a lot of them involved, but this has the look of about a green-white checker to it here, guys. And I'll tell you what, Brian Zimmerman, as Jerry put it, wrecked himself. Well, no, let's see, how did Jerry put it? No, he moved himself up into second position. What did he tell John? Hey, he was up here in the booth shooting it off, telling everybody he's going to win this race here tonight. But I'll tell you what, he's got Trenton Moriarty going to restart in the lead out there in front of him. But your points leader, Randy Hendrick, moving his way from the back to the front, guys. He's your points leader in the No Bull late model series here as the pace car pulls off, getting set to go back to green. Moriarty gets a jump on Zimmerman on the outside. Zimmerman fighting back, can't get it, has to fall down in behind Moriarty. Coming around turn 2, guys. I tell you what, it's 2 wide back here with 13 and the 3 on the outside. The 3 car of Randy Hedrick trying to put this thing together. I tell you what, points means everything here. It's Hedrick, your points leader, trying to hook it up. Can't do it on the outside. Going to have to fall in behind the 13, Tracy.
I tell you what, just going to have to fall back there. Try to get him on the inside, maybe get a run on him here as we're coming around. This is the last lap, JD. Oh, 24 hard into the wall, guys.
last time around, I'll tell you what, Trent Moriarty, he's got the run up there. Brian Zimmerman isn't going to be able to go home with the trophy here tonight. It's going to be Trenton Moriarty, Brian Zimmerman, and Rich Zimmerman, guys. I'll tell you what, and this thing ain't over yet.
Oh,
And they still got cars turning around out there. What a race.
What a race, I tell you what. And, the leader takes a checker flag, but like I said, it ain't over yet, man. Look in behind him and see what's going on. I'll tell you what a race there at Stafford Speedway, getting out of here with 5 cautions. But, hey, that's probably to be expected here, short track racing. But I'll tell you what, these boys over here at No Bull Motorsports can certainly put on a pretty decent show out here. Trent Moriarty, he's going home with the big one tonight as he burns them off on the start-finish line down here.
Tell you what.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just about to say, it's good to see Randy finishing in a top 3 there, especially starting where he started at. Still able to bring in a top 3 finish there. He did tell me earlier today he thought he had a top 5 car.
You bet, and I'll tell you what, outstanding action coming to you live from Trenton Speedway. Why don't we go ahead and we're going to step away and we're going to get ready for the post-race show. So sit tight, don't wander off. We'll be right back. Oh, there, cowboy. Ain't no need to get the hammers out and tear it all up. What you need to do is get a hold of David Bass, DB Tech Services. Technology support offered at a price affordable to most churches, not-for-profits, and individual customers. I'll tell you what, David Bass, IT specialist, over 5 years at the corporate level. Hey, man, computer maintenance, hardware and software upgrades. I'll tell you what, David Bass DB Tech Services, established specifically to provide lower-cost options to churches and non-profit organizations. So put the hammer away, dude. Get a hold of David Bass. DB Tech Services, dbtechservice.com. All right, and we are back live. Stafford Speedway, Stafford, Connecticut. And I'll tell you what, I'm standing down here at the podium with Trenton Moriarty. I'll tell you what, Trenton, what a run here tonight. Moving up 4 positions in the points. You've only got 3 starts. Make this one the 4th one here in the series. And I'll tell you what, you're sitting 107 points behind Randy Hedrick for the lead. But I'll tell you what, moving up 4, this ought to be at least a couple more, do you think?
Yeah, I'm not running for points or anything, so I'm just out here for wins, and that's what I came out here to do tonight.
All right, I'll tell you what, you're going home with the big one here tonight, and tell us about your race.
I got the pole and started 20th and went to the front.
From the back to the front, I'll tell you what, coming out with 5 cautions here tonight. Had a couple of big ones, but you managed to stay out of trouble tonight.
Yeah, which was crazy.
All right, I'll tell you what, congratulations to the win tonight. Any shout-outs out there you want to give?
Just my sponsor, Ada Sign Wraps, and Chad Neeham.
All right, and again, congratulations on the win. I'm going to throw it on down just a little bit more. Tracy Flip Robinson standing by with our second-place finisher tonight. Should I say that again? Second-place finisher tonight, Brian Zimmerman.
Now, JD, were you talking about our second-place finish here, or Brian Zimmerman came up just 1 spot short of that to get that lead? Tell me, Brian, were you able to get the bumper at all?
Second place finisher, Brian Zimmerman.
Second place?
Second place.
Well, guys, I tried my hardest. We almost lost it there on that second-to-last restart. I missed a shift and somehow gathered it up, and the caution came out just luckily in time for me to gather things back up. Not sure what was going on. It felt like I had either something broken in the right front or something going on, but the thing just wanted. I had no just wanted to skid straight up the track. I had to do all I could to keep it down on the bottom for those last couple of laps, and she was real loose. I was trying to fight her from spinning around coming off turn 4, take the finish, but yeah, it was a good race.
Yeah, I tell you what, we were watching you, Brian. You did get caught up in that first incident, got pushed back a little ways. It pretty much looked like you used pit strike to get back up there with your group. Tell you what, if you could have got your bumper maybe to that 72, were you going to maybe give him a little help, try to loosen him up a bit?
Well, me and Trenton, we've been racing for a while now together. We're rivals. He knows if I got to, I'm gonna lay the bumper on him, and he knows if he's got to, he's gonna lay the bumper on me. So it comes down to that type of racing when it gets this close. And tonight it didn't come down to that. He had a far enough lead, but yeah, if I was close, I was using the bumper. He seemed to be using it on my teammates an awful lot tonight, so a little payback wouldn't have hurt.
All right. Is there anybody you'd like to give shout-outs to there, Brian?
I'd like to give a shout-out to my teammates, Rich and David Washington. Awesome help out there tonight, and they all both did awesome. Sorry for David, he lost it there towards the end and ended up going towards the back, but I'd also like to give a shout-out to our sponsor, Koshian Law Group. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be doing what we are today, and they help us get where we are today, putting this league on, getting us out here on the track, and then again, I'd like to thank you guys for putting on what you did tonight. You guys did an awesome job every time you do it. Could never go anywhere else and find as good of quality as we get from you guys, and I'd like to thank you again.
All right, guys, that's your, as we like to say, second place finisher tonight, Brian Zimmerman. I'm going to throw it down to Rick, who's caught up with our third place finisher tonight.
Randy Hedrick spoke to you earlier today. You said you felt like you had a top 5 car, and here you are at third. Randy, tell us.
Well, I think I felt like I had to fresher tires right there at the end after that last pit stop. I just didn't have enough time to reel in the leader.
And that's what you said earlier today. You was a little worried about Trenton, and it seems like Trenton had you to worry about. If you'd had about 10 more laps, do you think you could have caught Trenton, Randy?
Yeah, I believe I could have not only caught Trenton, but I think I could have gave it a ran for the lead for this win.
Well, Randy, it looks like you've done a great job. You started second on the pole here this evening, and of course the invert puts you all the way back there with Trenton. Looks like you took your time coming through the field, and here you are at third place.
Yeah, I made a mistake there in the beginning. I pitted too long. I took some tires and some fuel, and that kind of put me a lap down there early in the race. Took me a while to get back up here. Had to fight my way. Had some pretty good competitors. Nice, clean racing. Just drove my butt off tonight.
Fantastic. And Randy, that is exactly what you did tonight. You drove your tail off. And congratulations to you on your third place finish. How about your sponsors?
I'd like to throw a thank you out there to my sponsors from Global Graphics and also Ricky Dicky Do Designs. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have this paint job in my car. He gave me just enough money to get it on there.
And there you go, JD, from Randy Hedrick's third place driver here today.
Say that sponsor's name again. Ricky Dicky what?
Ricky Dicky Do Designs. And I'd also like to throw a thank you out there to Cushion Law Firm for having this league.
All right, guys. I'll tell you what. This is some late night fun action out here with these Noble Motorsports guys. I'll tell you what, man. We got to keep doing this. But I'll tell you, Tracy, Rick, what a night here, short track style here at Stafford with the late models, and tons of fun out here at Stafford. Stafford Speedway, but to Trenton Moriarty going home with the big one. Brian Zimmerman with a respectable second place run out there, and of course your points leader coming in third. But guys, what a night!
Yeah, I tell you what a great race. Unfortunately, we can't give the one nickname we have for a driver for finishing second because he's already got that. And we can't use the one who's going to finish second, Brian Zimmerman. So we'll have to come up with one, JD. But tell you what, great race. Had some good action out there. Tell you what, it really worked nice having the fast car starting the back, worked their way forward. Great job, and I tell you what, John, it was pretty much fun, pretty good.
Yeah, guys, I just hate to say this. This is going to be our last broadcast with ETV. I'm going to have to sell everything. I spent every nickel I had. I mortgaged all the ETV equipment on Brian Zimmerman tonight, and I fell up a little bit short.
Oh, my God. We're out of a job, Tracy. Jesus.
Doesn't your bookie work with percentages?
and I was just started.
That was like a 90% of there.
Tell you what, let's throw it over to Rick here. I tell you, the rookie in the booth here tonight. But I tell you what, rookie no more. You did an outstanding job, my friend. Hey, it's all about having fun and calling it like you see it.
Guys, I just want to say I appreciate the being a part of you guys tonight and being here and had a great time and enjoyed and learned a lot. I'm still looking for that buffet table somebody said something about earlier.
You didn't wander in the back of the room very far, did you? There's a little curtain there. We try to put that to keep the flies out.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe in a couple of weeks, John will even give you a key to that screen door hanging on the back there. But I'll tell you what, we're doing it ETV style here in Stafford, and we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. So I'll tell you what, for John the Bad Boy Wrestling, Jerry Corndog Wolf, Tracy Flip Robinson, and of course, along for the ride with us tonight, Rick Donathan. They call me the Cowboy, J.D. Webb. We're going to wrap it up for these boys here tonight at No Bull Motorsports. You want to check them out at nobullmotorsports.com. And I tell you, you want to come out here and play with these guys, get over there and talk to Brian Zimmerman, and he'll hook you up. But guys, what a night tonight, and we'll see you next time.